Hey dolls, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys this super detailed, beginner friendly mini twist tutorial. So if you think this is something you may be interested in, make sure you keep on watching. Alrighty, so I want to give a huge shout out to HOTBRAIDS for sponsoring this video. Of course, it came packed with all of the goodies, this nice storage bag, a fine mist spray bottle, which we definitely will be needing. Also these necessities like hair clips, a smoothing brush, an edge brush, and also a rat tail comb. And then they gave me this gorgeous scarf that I did incorporate in one of my styles. So they definitely provided you with everything you need. You literally just need to purchase a 3-way mirror. Do not forget the mirror. Okay, so now let's get into this hair. I received 5 packs of 22 inches of the 4B 4C texture, and this is the Tight Afro Kinky Coily bulk hair in the color ginger brown. So my hair is colored, and I didn't have to worry about coloring this hair to match my texture and my hair color, so I was super excited about that. But as you guys can see, this hair is loose. It's literally not in bundles or anything. It's literally loose hair, so we have to do some prepping to make sure that we're not losing hair when we're putting this in our head, and also that it's nice and detangled and prepped for a nice smooth process. So let's get into that. So first, I'm starting off with taking a piece from that bulk hair. I work in smaller sections because honestly I didn't know what I was doing, but I started in smaller sections and I just dampened the hair, and then I'm going to wrap that tightly around my 2 fingers or my middle finger, whichever one was more comfortable. And then I'm going to go in with my wide tooth comb and just comb out that excess hair. And as you guys can see, the hair at the bottom that's sliding out is just that loose hair that you would have been taking out as you were taking these pieces out and putting them into your head during the process. And I knew this would be a very tedious process, so I just wanted to make sure that I was making it as smooth and quick as possible with the installation by detangling beforehand. So once I finish detangling as much hair as possible, I'm just going to take those long little straight pieces at the bottom, pull them out, and re-add them into this section. And this is just going to even out the hair and just make it nice and full, so when I'm installing it and pulling it apart to install into my hair, it will be nice and even. And then I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing this to the rest of the 5 packs of bulk hair. And yeah, just make sure this is all nice and detangled. As you guys can see, all this hair that is coming out, this would have slowed down the process of me installing this hair. Y'all, we still gotta section our hair, we still gotta do mini braids, and we still have to put these and section this out and put in our hair. So why are we going to deal with this all during that process? We ain't doing that, so we're doing it right now. So as you guys can see, this is the leftover hair that I pulled out. No hair got left behind because I literally ended up using all 5 of these bundles. So this was literally the only pieces of hair I had left. So if I needed extra hair, if I would have threw this away, I would have been pretty messed up. So as you guys can see, I'm just literally doing the same thing with that hair and detangling that as well. And this is what we was working with once everything was all stretched, detangled, and sectioned off. And you can also see some curl definition in this hair. And this was the hair that I was able to salvage from the 5 packs of hair that you see behind it. And as you guys can see the difference, that is what would have been in between all of those bulk pieces. But hold on, y'all, before we get into the rest of the video, did you guys know that HOTBRAIDS has 4 other textures for you to choose from? You're not obligated to just the one that I have in this video, but you can choose a texture that caters exactly to your hair type. So from loosest to tightest curl pattern, we have 3A to 3B, 3B to 3C, 3C to 4A, 4A to 4B, and lastly 4B to 4C, which I will be using in this tutorial. So you guys are not obligated to use just this texture. There's so many diverse textures for you to choose from that works best for your hair type. So now let's get into sectioning for this install. So I ended up using the lock-in pomade for my parts and sections. All of this stuff is also what I had at home. I didn't go out and buy anything extra, but I'm going in and braiding down about 1 inch on my real hair because I will be crocheting this hair in. Because one, your girl does not know how to braid or do mini twists with extra hair add it in. I just feel like it will slip out. I won't be doing it right. So going with the crochet method was really just beginner friendly, and it just gave me some type of security knowing these things would not be slipping out the same day. So this is a better idea of how much hair that I'm using on each row. And this was probably no more than an inch. It's not too thick, not too small. But I also noted that the girls who know how to do their mini twisted, try not to lay the squares right on top of each other because it gives that scalpy look. So try to do the bricklayer effect, and that's what I kind of went for, and that's what you see on my first 3 rows. And the 4th row will come right above my ear. This will be the final row for the first section of my head. I will be working in 4 sections for my entire head just to make sure I'm nice and organized and I have a general idea of, you know, what to do next time in case I try to do this style again. So, and it also keeps everything very manageable. Like everything's out the way. You're working on one section at a time and then you just move on to the next one. So this is how the first 4 rows look. This is the bottom section, and now we're going to move into the second section, which is the middle part of my head, more so like the crown. And I'm going to use the parting from the first section and use that as a guide to make my squares for this one. And once I finished with all of the rows for the second section, I ended up with 4 rows just like the bottom, and now we are ready to do the top and last 2 sections. So for the front of my hair, I am going to be doing the parts a little smaller, and I'm not going to be braiding as tight because I definitely do not want tension on my edges, and it's way more sensitive than the rest of my head. So I'm just going to repeat the same process. And once I finish this half of my head, I ended up having 6 rows. And this is just a general idea of how many rows you may have in your head if you think your head is the same size as mine. They're not too small, not too big, but they definitely did the job and it came out good enough for me. So now this is where I messed up at. I shouldn't have blow dried my hair because 1, look at this texture. My hair is straight. So I'm going in with some leave-in conditioner. I ended up washing my hair. Well, literally just the straight part. I did not wash the braids or anything, just the straight part, you guys. And then I just worked that leave-in conditioner in there to make sure my hair is nice and moisturized before we start with our installation. And girl, I don't know what made me think that I can get away with blow dried hair. Like, the bulk hair is already just slightly different from my texture. So I don't know what made me think straight would be a good idea, but I had to put that extra work on myself and do this. But if you want to just use your regular hair texture, do that. So this is the tool that I'll be using to crochet the hair into my braid. As you can see, it opens easily, closes easily, so this will not damage your hair. Very seamless and painless, okay? And these are the sizes of the bulk pieces that I went for the bottom portion of my head. These are also going to be smaller than the top twist that I will be doing. So I'm literally just opening the crochet tool, putting it through my braid, putting the piece of hair in the crochet tool, closing it, and pulling it through the braid as you guys see here. And I'm going to braid down about 4 times just so the piece of bulk hair in my braid could blend together and it's also flat. And then I'm going to start twisting once I secure those 2 together, and it came out so good. And while I'm twisting, I'm adding gel, which I didn't need to use so much of, and water. And that's literally all I did for these twists. And I'm going to continue to do that on the whole bottom half of my head. And I'm going to show you guys more into detail on how I do the top portion as well. But this is super repetitive. I'm literally just going to let you guys get the vibe of what I have going on until it's time for me to do the top. But I literally twisted all the way down to the bottom because I did plan on cutting these and I wanted to make sure that they were not coming apart. So I just twisted all the way to the bottom. So at this point, we were halfway done. This was the middle and bottom section completed, and it was very lightweight. I was happy about that because I also wanted some length, but I didn't want it to be heavy, so I'm happy I achieved that. So now towards the top of my head, I am going to be doing the exact same separating process, but I'm going to be making these a little bit thinner than the bottom because I do not want them to be heavy on the front of my head. So I'm going to do the same process and just feed that piece of hair through the crochet needle, pull it through the braid a few times down, separate the hair in 2, and then go ahead and start twisting. Now, the top of my head is looser just naturally than the bottom of my head. So I did go ahead and twist my natural hair around the half of the bulk hair piece, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other half of the bulk hair piece and my natural hair, just because my hair is just naturally looser than the back part of my head. So that just helped me conceal the texture of my hair compared to the 4C hair that I was sent. And I honestly don't know how long this will last with these two textures meshing like that, but when I did twist the hair like I'm doing right here, it did help it stay put. And also if you add a little edge control to the twist as well, it lets it stay put. But how long is it gonna stay like the back? I don't know, but it's been like this for about 3 days and it's going okay. But I know it's going to frizz up and you're going to be able to see that demarcation of my texture and the texture of this 4C hair because they're nowhere close to each other. But Hot Braids does not just offer this texture. I know we see this texture like all over TikTok and Instagram, but they have so many different textures to match your hair perfectly. 5 other textures to where you can choose if you have 3C hair, 4A hair, 3B hair. They literally have it all from straight curly to super kinky curly. So that's what I really liked about this hair, and it comes in so many different colors as well. So I was happy to see that. So when I got to this row, I actually started to feed in the braids a little lower than the roots of my braid, just so it can lay way flatter. And also this is actually like close to my baby hair, so I did not want that pulling from the root of my head. So I did start a little under where the braid starts, and then I started the same process, braiding, spraying the water, adding the gel, and then dividing it in half and twisting it all the way down. And that actually made a huge difference. I probably should have did that for the entire front of my head, but I realized it later on just through trial and error and realizing that it was just way too bulky for my liking, starting from the actual base of the braid. So yeah, this was my first time doing this and I was learning as I was going, but girl, it came out just fine. So this is how the hair looked with absolutely nothing added to it but how I twisted it, and it shrunk like crazy. I was like, OMG, this is not supposed to be this short. So I actually went and got some hot water and just stuck my hair in there because my hair was a little tight. Like it was very, very intact. So I literally dipped my hair in the water, squeezed it dry, and it took out some of that product, and it just made the hair way more flowy, way more fluffy, and I love this way better. So next time I know not to add so much gel, but I like the fluffy look way better. And of course I went ahead and snipped some of those thin ends off just so it looks nice and healthy and put together, and these did not unravel because I did twist all the way down like I stated in the video. But I went and added my finishing touches, and this was the finished result of my hair, guys. It was nice and elongated. These are some little hairstyles that I was experimenting with. The hair was so flexible. I literally could twist this hair and put it in cute little ponytails, and all these different styles were just so diverse and so different. So if you are interested in trying this style, you can still wear your hair in different ways. You're not just obligated to wear it down the middle or to the side. There's a plethora of different ways you can experiment with this hair. So this is one of my favorite styles I also did. I just feel like a turban or a scarf is a nice little accessory when you don't have on much. It just adds something and gives a little extra nice look to your look. So if you guys are interested in anything that I mentioned in this video, make sure you check the description box below. I will also have a coupon code if you guys are interested in purchasing from Hot Braids. But thank you guys always so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.